Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. If you clicked on this because you're noticing that I have gone quiet with the kids on camera on the various social media or on this channel, or if you just saw that I'm not posting them anymore, maybe you're wondering why I stopped talking about certain cases, this is the video for you. This is the one where I explain everything from the heart with zero drama on this and zero shade. So I've been on, kind of sitting on this for a while, trying to um, debate back and forth. How do I make this? Because I want to make sure that it's genuine and without, a lot of distractions or going off track, which I seem to do quite a lot. And I'm not here to call anyone out. I'm not here to defend myself. You know, I'm here to tell you why I've changed my content and why from this day forward you will not see my children here or anywhere online. The simplest reason is also the most important one. And I'm hoping that maybe by sharing this, maybe it'll help other parents that might be going through the same types of situations or contemplations. Um, but the most important one is it's their safety and their privacy. So I know I really haven't shared them here very often, and I think the few times that I have, they were blurred out or it was older photos or videos. But nonetheless, if I have, then I can't take it back, right? There's nothing I can do about that. And I know that a lot of you here have followed me when I've transitioned over the years and changed and adapted as a mom and as a person. And I had a channel previously that I lost. But some of you have been around for a long time and you are on my, Facebook, or you had followed me on Facebook, or you had been on another channel or Instagram and things like that. So I know a lot of you genuinely enjoyed the joy that those style videos brought, especially the ones when we were redoing our garden and building our garden, or when we were going on, a lot of the medical complex journeys that we've had, or when I had, when I had the baby, my youngest, and I know it brought a lot of joy and encouragement and things in those videos. And I always read every comment, where people had told me, or you guys that are watching, that it did make your day brighter, or that my family felt like the village you didn't have. And it did, it meant everything to me. But the truth is, while there are so many good, kind people who benefit from that light, there are also dark people out here, and we are living in a dark time. I've endured a lot over the years, and I never really publicly discuss things, and and I don't plan on ever doing so. I always put my children first. So that being said, things got really hectic and awful in a lot of ways for us. And I'm not going to change always putting my children first, even though I've made mistakes and I can't change them, right? I'm not perfect. I'm just a human. But I refuse to talk badly about people that my kids love and admire. I won't ruin that for them. I have zero respect for anyone who drags in their personal family or parenting issues with an ex, or familiar family members, or old college friends, or old 20th cousins 10 times removed that you haven't spent more than 10 minutes with in the last almost 2 decades. Things of that nature. I won't ruin things for them, because they have a love and a respect, and they have an entitlement to their own privacy. And it's a shame that there would ever be a time that people would lower themselves in that way. And I just have zero respect for anyone who drags things like that onto this social media platforms, out into the public eye. I would never do that. I would never intrude on somebody's actual real life. And I never will do that. I just won't do it. And I will not defend myself against bullying campaigns or smear campaigns or lies or narcissistic jealousy. None of it. It just won't happen. Because the truth is obvious. If you've been around long enough, everything I have ever done has sincerely always been for my kids' best interest. And like I said, I've not always made the best decisions. But that was always my focus, was trying to do the right thing when it came to them, or caring about children in general. I'm a big person in terms of a big believer and convicted in terms of, like, we're supposed to be there for our most vulnerable, which is our children, elderly, disabled, and veterans. I really just, I don't know how there's so many people that are not like that, but that's the world that we're in, you know. And I have been a single mom for the majority of their lives. Like, I have always found a way to keep going, though, right? We have been through so many things. There's been so many times that I've been broke. I've been trying to find, where do I go if I had rented something? Because yes, I've owned homes, but if I was in a rental, and I've gone through these phases, like all of us, like, of not knowing, how am I going to find one that I like in the best area that's safe for them, or safest, or how do I afford this, or what am I going to do? But I've always been able to find a way because I have such a big belief in God. God seems to always help. And my kids just have never gone without something to eat or a safe place to sleep, thank the Lord. They have never had to rely on the system. And what they have endured is really just a mom who has had to battle so much behind the scenes while keeping it together in front of them. Where I've, for years, at different points in time, I've kept it together for them. They don't know when we're going through sincere financial hardships, or when I'm going through something traumatic, or when I had the tumor removed, and what I went through with the malignancy. And I just always trust that we're going to find a way through it, that I put my faith in the Lord, and we just keep pushing. And I try very hard not to play victim, not to let them feel like they're a victim, because while in life, yes, a lot of times things happen that we didn't do to ourselves, but there's always usually a way around it. And that's why I'm a big believer in therapy, and surrounding yourself with people that are going to lift you up and be positive and supportive, encouraging, and put you in your place, I guess, at different points in time, when it's sincere, when it's coming from the right place, and when you really could use somebody to say something, snap you out of it or something like that. But I can't believe a lot of the lengths that people are willing to go because they heard a rumor, or they've seen something that's not true, or they've been told something, or whatever the reason is. It's just shocking to me that people would go to those types of levels. I mean, my children never had to know when someone in the family wasn't who they thought they were. I mean, of course I would speak up, like, if they had a bad friend, right? They had a bad influence of a friend or something. Or if anybody, heaven forbid, is doing something like illegal or dangerous, right? That's different. Then I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, No, I'm going to be like, hey, you got to stay away from them. We're no contact with this family member. And age appropriate explanations would ensue, right? Age appropriate. But the private adult stuff, like, no, I keep it private so they could just be kids. Like, they're kids. They deserve to be kids to the best we can provide them in this digital age, which is almost impossible unless you're living off in the middle of nowhere, off the grid somewhere. I mean, the way that they give each other cellular devices, the way they can tap into hotspots, the way they can hop on and off different usernames. And I mean, it's just shocking, the stuff that kids are able to do so that we don't know what they're doing online. I swear that my middle son, he can literally hear the vibrations of the floorboards, or sense them, because as soon as I get somewhere and I'm listening or I check on him, he's not doing anything wrong. But then if I'm down the hall, that's when I'll hear like, what did I just hear? What did I just hear? So I try to do my best as a mom in this digital time, and it's so hard. That's why I know that hindsight is 2020. Our opinions change based on what we're living through, what we're going through. Our realities are shaped a lot by our personal experiences. So the way that I feel about something now, I can't change how I might have felt about something before. But that's why I like to do these videos, because I like the authenticity. I like to, communicate with people. And I try to be as real as I can be within the limits, right? Because at the end of the day, we're still kind of like characters online. We're not supposed to be a 24/7 big brother where people have the right to every single intimate detail about ourselves that only God and the law would have a right to, kind of thing, right? Like, it's not appropriate. And I just can't believe how far certain things transpired just because people think that they had a right to know something, or they thought they knew something and they think they could teach somebody a lesson, or you should not judge a book by a cover that you don't even have a clue what's inside that book. You haven't read it. And the book is still a work in progress. It's a series, right? Like an encyclopedia. Like it's a set of books, I don't know. It's just like, it's so sad. And I'm trying not to get myself emotional, but for a long time, I didn't have a backbone because I was so worried about protecting them that fear distorted my decisions. Like with all of us, like we're human, I'm human, and I make mistakes, and I get very emotional because I allowed fear of what I was fearful for my kids to overpower me, really putting my foot down and really standing my ground on having the backbone of, um, like drawing the boundaries, like saying, no, you don't have a right to call me. You don't have a right to talk. You don't have a right in my world whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And you need to back the heck off. I tried to, with certain situations, just, talk to people once in a blue moon. And I'm like, well, they're, if I'm just nice and nonchalant and I just leave them alone and they'll leave me alone, and nothing illegal or anything. I'm using general explanations that for a lot of us, right, we allow people to keep us in a situation that we are not interested in. Like, I had nothing in common with a couple people whatsoever. And I should have immediately been like, listen, I'm sorry. We have nothing in common. There's no reason for me to communicate with this person. We're not networking. We're not doing anything to do anything, really. This is like some sort of a joke. This is obviously this person's job. And I just had to sit there and go along with this nonsensical stuff. And I thought I had a backbone, but it wasn't the backbone that it needed to be, because my kids, I was so worried about them that I didn't stand my ground. Hold on one moment. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. Somebody is at my door. One moment. I'm making a video. No, I haven't. Alrighty. Sorry. Let me see. Is it on? Oh, good. Okay. All right. So I was just really I was so worried about protecting them that the fear of it all kind of distorted some of the decisions that I made. And I allowed, and it's so sad, because I am a believer in Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. You can call him Jehovah. You can, the Most High God, the King of Kings. I am a child of God. Like, that has always been my belief since I was really little. And fear is not supposed to be anything that I entertain. Fear is supposed to be something that I know that that's from the devil. And we're supposed to stand in our authority and our convictions and know that we're protected and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And, all of these different things. But I feel like the day and age that we're in, some of the people that are the worst are other people that claim to believe the same things that we believe. People that claim to, believe in the Most High God. But then you find out that no, it's some weird thing, like where people are very personal and they're intruding into your life, and they're doing things that they should never be doing. I just, there's so many things that I allowed because I didn't stand on my boundaries, because I really thought that what I was doing was protecting my children and protecting children. And there's just so much that I don't know if it's anything I'll ever speak about, but we all go through different things. But the stuff that I've gone through when it comes to the internet and just realizing how dark some people truly are, it's just changed my perspective with even sharing my children on Facebook. And I've always been honest with you guys. Like, I call it Facebook. It's not real. People that pretend that they're in the best marriages are in the worst marriages, right? Like, nothing you're seeing online you should take as gospel. You should always get a second, third, fourth opinion if it's something serious. You should always be around real people. But I know that this is so important in the days that we're in, is some sort of authenticity, because I was there during the 2020s, during the pandemic. We have all been in situations where our only socialization, our only outlets, whether we have a child with medical complexities, whether we're a primary caregiver for somebody else, whether we're going through cancers or different things, or this is how we can actually socialize and communicate. A lot of us do it for entertainment. It's our TV now, it's our reality, it's everything, like reality TV, it's all kinds of different things. And I feel like we've lost the personal connection. So many people are so fake. So many people come on and they put 10 pounds of makeup on. They are just, forget Botox or Juvederm and all of the plastic stuff that people can do these days. A lot of people are just, they're fake. They're totally fake. And we're all fake though. We're all fake when we're in the public, right? It's really who we are as a person in our personal lives. And that's not anybody's right to go into. It's not somebody's right to come into your real world and try to create blackmail, almost like try to create something that wouldn't naturally have even happened on its own, just because they are so convicted in somebody else's downfall, which is absurd to me, but it happens all the time on the internet. You have no idea what a lot of people go through just because they're making live streams or sharing content, especially with Facebook, because people are able to weaponize, in my opinion, the fact that a lot of us moms use Facebook because it has so many local things. There's a lot more availability locally for you to be involved. If your kids are in sports, if your kids are in different activities, you have so many different networking opportunities on that. And it's a little more secure. Like for me, I have not had that open to just anybody at all. That has been locked down. There's different preference lists, but it doesn't matter, because sometimes the enemy's within. Sometimes people in your own family are your biggest critics because they don't want to face the reality that they really don't want to be a grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, cousin, whatever. Who knows? And it breeds this awful environment for other people to be able to connect and like have this fun time of like hate campaigning and bonding. And it's just not a place that children should be involved in at all. And I'm not going to subject my children to the internet anymore. Like, I'm not going to share the birthdays. I'm not going to share anything, even if it's on the fake book that I believe, which I use Facebook. I've never put like lies on there. I call it fake. I already explained why many times. But I'm not even going to be doing that. I'm not going to be putting anything on the internet when it comes to the kids in that way now, because I just don't feel like it's good for them. I know it's not. It's not good for me. I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to feel the way that I have felt sometimes, not knowing, what's going on. Why is somebody behaving like this? What is going on in my life? Why would anybody? I mean, you guys have no idea the comments that I've had to see, the conversations that people have had. Like, for what? I'm a nobody. There's 9 billion people in this world. I'm no one. But I think it's really the authenticity that a lot of people don't want. I don't know. But I'm going to still be here and making content. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And, I mean, I make mistakes. I'm a human. But at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to make content. Like I said, I've never strayed from who I am. It's just I don't think people take the time to really even learn what they're doing or why they're saying what they're saying. They don't truly know somebody. They're not even looking into me as a creator, some people, because if you did, already I'm a big believer in the Lord. I've never lied about who I actually am when it comes to those types of things. And I just withheld a lot of personal nonsense I was dealing with behind the scenes simply because I wanted to build a good life for my family and share something real with you all. And we've had seasons where we're doing wonderful, and then we've had these seasons where we're starting all over. And that's the season right now that we're in, where we have, have to start all over again, where everything is just, a cycle, and you have your highs and you have your lows. And, and I mean, I know so many of you out here are looking for creators like me, that we resonate with each other. I watched people at the hardest times of my life because so many people didn't want me around because of my daughter's severe autism. They didn't want me at their house, and I couldn't blame them. She'll break something, or she was screaming the entire time, and I didn't want to put her in a situation where she's on sensory overload. But that takes a toll on you. I mean, I went a couple years where I didn't cry. I've never been emotional. I've never been a crier. And I just sobbed my heart out because I had to face this realization that the very people that were supposed to be my little village, because I'm very, very picky, could have cared less. They would easily be there to kick you when you're down, but they were nowhere to be found all the time that I was by myself. When you're at your lowest and you're looking for your village in your real life, and then you realize, wait a minute, I surrounded myself with a village of really unhealthy people that have never cared about anything but themselves. And that's obvious because I wouldn't have spent all that time without them coming around, without people offering to babysit, without, dropping meals off or coming over and just hanging out with me. Grandma couldn't even handle a weekend. She went to the hotel. So some of us have different people that we have in our lives because they're from high school or their immediate family and they were raised in a different time, or they have silver spoons that we'll never see. Just that is all of us. We all have differences. Sometimes a lot of it is us. Like maybe we've cut people off and we haven't been very kind. But at the end of the day, it was so hard for me because I was like, wow, like this is something that I have been called to do, I believe, because so many of us, especially now in 2026, truly just want somebody that's real on the other end of the screen and not an AI. We don't want to watch an AI that is using an AI imprint of our voices or using an AI features, and we just want somebody that's real. We know that there's going to be a story. They may not be telling us a whole truth, but at least it's something that we could resonate with. At least there's some authenticity to it, right? And I have to be honest with you, about something else, actually, really, because this is what this channel ended up really starting all about, right? Was Sebastian Rogers' case. And it became something that I just could not casually talk about anymore. And you guys have all known that the whole time. You understood how I was trying to evolve and understand what was real, what wasn't. how I always enjoyed having like an independent investigative journalistic side. I never claimed to be like a licensed journalist or an accredited journalist. Like I always said, I was an independent investigative journalist, which we all can be. I always had my fair use, my disclaimers were just speculating. It's so sad, but you have to, say these things legally. That's what I'm always told. Like you actually have to say this stuff all the time, even though you would think that people already know. But anyway, I digress. And I realize that if I feel like I'm actually not being helpful, then I don't want to continue it at all. Like there's nothing that hasn't already been said a million times, right? The FBI is clearly involved. You can see it from the updates. They have that $50,000 reward. I know a lot of people say that that's not enough, but by speculating and going over the same public information over and over, I started to worry I might actually be doing more harm than good. I mean, some cases stay open for years, sometimes decades. I don't know anyone personally involved, so I can only go by what's public. And right now, there's just nothing new for me to add. And I get it that a lot of you, like, that is all you want to hear about. Somehow, this has been content for almost 2 years straight for some people. Like, he's a missing child. I don't know anything about anything that you guys don't already know that we don't have access to on the internet. I'm not going to be able to provide anything positive that I can think of at this time. And I don't think that it's right what's going on with the algorithm, because talking about a case shouldn't have impacted my real life at all. Like, I want to be a helper. I want to be able to do good in this world and be positive. And, I mess up all the time. We all mess up all the time. And I just found that, like, it seems like right now the internet has thrown a lot of us into these algorithms where we're constantly being pushed out to people that are not going to have anything in common with us at all. Like, they can't stand, for example, say they can't stand a blonde hair, or they can't stand somebody that wears pink, or they can't stand a New York accent. I don't know, but for some reason you're getting patched up to somebody that loves pink, heavy New York accent. It just seems like that's what's happening, and that seems like what I feel like was going on with me, is that the people that I have an audience that wants to follow me, that wants to build a family here on the internet, so to speak, they're not the ones that are getting pushed over. Like, we are getting thrusted into these weird algorithms, and it's to make us feel like, you're alone. Nobody agrees with your opinion. And that's just not possible. It's not true. And I feel really, really sorry for people that can't get out and talk to people and that are at home, because if that is what you're believing, then that is like really risky. And it worries me on a bigger level when it comes to hacking and AI and the psychology behind, what molds us. And I just wanted to clarify, like, I've never changed who I am. I've never lied about my belief in God. I've never claimed to be part of a team or, I guess if anything, I'm too smart for my own good with certain things. I guess, like, I don't know. But I don't understand what I don't understand, I guess. And I'm trying to reach the people that want to hang out and that aren't here just for updates on one case when there's nothing at all whatsoever that I could say or anybody else can say. It's, what can you say? So, there's just nothing for me to add. And it's not that I don't care about missing persons at all. Like, I do. I care deeply. But I also know that not everything is what it seems. And I would rather wait for a major public announcement by law enforcement, like a major public update, or the family, to give us one, than to keep talking just to fill space. Like, that's just not my style. That's not who I am. And I've enjoyed finding my niche here for the days that I'm in now, for my age, for my lifestyle. A lot of the characters that people play on the internet work financially, but they're often without the real authenticity. And I want to be myself. I don't want to conform for no reason. I don't want to change what I'm doing. Like, I enjoy having these discussions on different cases and talking to you guys about all of that stuff. You know, I'm good at certain things. That's my niche. That's what I enjoy. That's what, we can make content on. And I had to finally decide to set strict boundaries for myself and my family. And let me tell you, when you set real boundaries, it's very obvious that all hell breaks loose. I mean, the blackmail was on steroids, manufactured nonsense, people really being used to try to impact my life or your life. It could happen to any of us. It happens to creators all the time. They just don't discuss it. They just don't. But it's real. And I'm not engaging. I never go back and forth on things that aren't worthy of my time. Because all that matters to me is that my children know that I love them. And in this life, all we need is freedom, health, God, love. We do not have to stick to what bullies want us to do, so to speak. I mean, we do not have to use our children as content ever. We do not have to follow a narrative someone else is selling, and they are not even who you think they are. They're an AI figure. They're not even real. They're a total character. You'd be surprised how often that happens. But I mean this also figuratively of like your former, some people have immediate family members that have major channels, and that's not what the person looks like. That's not the house that they live in, but you also know that they're a character and this is their income for their family. This is their job. So you're not on there making videos saying, she's a liar. She doesn't live in that house. She doesn't do that, because it's their job. It's entertainment. They're doing a job. They're filling a purpose. Now, I do think that there's legal lines or ethics and stuff. We can get into all that later, but I'm just saying, like, it's wild to me, some of the things. It's just wild. It's just it's very frustrating because we don't have to follow any narrative that someone else is selling. I mean, they can always cast other people for the roles they're trying to create, or they can give you an opportunity to fill a role that's created more towards what you believe, or what you're comfortable with, so that you're not subjecting yourself or your family to anything. And sadly, I just don't think a lot of people care, But we get to write our own stories. We get to change our opinions, our interests, our hobbies. We get to thank YouTube and all these other platforms for providing us this opportunity to become creators, to find a niche, and actually to capitalize on it. And a lot of people are able to earn a really good living that way. And I've enjoyed making content over the years on all kinds of things, but I've never profited. But the one thing I truly love discussing is trying to, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that I do like to talk about, which is why I like to have guests and I like to do podcast style stuff and I like to do things like that with other people. But my niche, what I realized, is really kind of talking about like the crime cases, looking at all the information, finding the patterns, talking about history and mysteries, and I'm still doing that. I'm still going to show up as me, but I'm not going to conform or perform to make bullies happy. And I'm never going to have my children on the internet now, like at all. You're going to get what you get with me. Um, you get what you get. I'm a believer in God. I think a good therapist is something every single one of us could use. I believe so many people are lacking their village and they come online looking for creators who feel like encouragement or family. That there's so many stories in this world, so many missing person cases, so many trials, so many mysteries. There's plenty here for everyone. The right people will find me and I'll find them, even if I'm in an algorithm that's not right. And the right conversations hopefully will happen. Um, because I feel bad. I feel bad that so many of you want me to talk about certain things and you want me to come on, and I plan on it and I am, but I just wanted to kind of give you some context as to why things have been all over the place. And it's really because I had to try to figure out what was going on and set really strict boundaries. And it's sad because, like I said, like a lot of us don't fit into the boxes that other people are creating, right? We're not a cookie cutter Catholic or a Jew or a Baptist or a Buddhist, or like when it comes to spirituality, like, or we're not perfect in terms of always speaking proficiently and making sure that we don't cuss, or we're speaking in a professional manner, clear, concise. We're not always properly prepared because we're just on here trying to be real and just share some time with other people on the internet and share some hobbies or interests. And not going to fit into certain molds. And I believe that there's so many more people like me out there. There's tons of people just like me. And if I could figure out the algorithmic part of it, and in time, we'll all find people that want to be around, that aren't offended that I believe in God, they don't get mad that I still vape occasionally. It's, the 2% nicotine. There's studies that say nicotine is good for you. There's studies that say it's not. um, People that aren't offended that I'm dyeing my hair different colors, and right now I got to go through the burgundy process. You would be surprised, like how many different believers that I have found myself faced with that are like, oh, you shouldn't wear makeup, or you shouldn't do this, or I mean, that's not authentic for the days that we're in at all. It's just not. You get what you get. I'm a human being and I am not going to change who I am. But if I had an actual job, right? If I was on a assignment at work, say I have to be there, I have to meet with people, I have meetings all day, I have to show up, then of course you're going to present yourself differently. Of course you're never going to cuss, or go into work without your hair perfect. Would I show up at a big meeting with my hair like this right now? Maybe, because I don't think it looks that bad. But we're on the internet, we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. We're just regular moms. We're not supposed to be all ready for a business meeting. That's not what this is. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm rambling. I do that all the time. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing this. I've always enjoyed talking to you guys. I've always enjoyed making content. I love conversations, and I hope that we can have a lot more of them. But I do think that we're in a different day and age, and that people's children are being weaponized, and it's causing family problems, and people are just really mean. I mean, people have nothing better to do. And then, especially now, we have AI making its own religions. How do we know that somebody's not going to have AI going out there and starting in causing semantics, you know, making bot comments and things like that, and cloning accounts? We have no idea what's to come. But what I do know is that if there's anything I can do to ensure that my kids are giving privacy to the best of my ability, it's going to be that there's not going to be any updates on the internet with their photos. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to go off the cuckoo's nest and not take pictures on my phone or have them on a cloud or anything like that yet. I believe that, we're all surveillance for years. I believe that there's, our pictures are taken everywhere we go. I'm very, 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 very aware. And so I'm not one flew over the cuckoo's nest with that, because I know that you have to adapt to the times that you're in. You have to be realistic. You can't be, paranoid nut job, so to speak. But I can at least try to do my part. And that's a little bit that I can do. And I feel bad. But I think that we're just in a really different dark time online. It's just the algorithms are different. I don't know if it was when that whole solar wind thing happened. That's when I noticed there was like a bigger change. Like we were no longer being pushed out to people that shared anything in common with us. It seemed like, they might be sharing one thing, like, but then everything else, like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's very weird. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like looking at information and finding the patterns and talking about history or different mysteries or different stories. And I'm going to continue to do all of that. You know, yeah, I'm going to continue to do all that. And the baby's getting taken care of, so I don't have to get up. But I just figured, like, this is me just, putting it out there loud and clear, that this is why I've taken a turn in all of my content. And if you're still here, please know that I appreciate you very much. I look forward to continuing to get to know all of you and sharing, this journey with you, and just understand and respect that, that I will discuss God occasionally. Like, He is a part of everything I do and everything I am. And I don't fit into a denomination. And I feel like I'm the majority right now. And a lot of other people, maybe not some of you for some reason, that have been getting pushed my content, but most people, I think, understand that we don't fit, really. We're all human. We're not perfect. And so if you can handle that, I am excited, for all of this. I look forward to it, and I enjoy when I make videos with everybody, because I know that there were so many times that certain videos really helped encourage me when my daughter was experiencing profound meltdowns and I felt so alone, and I was grieving, the little girl that I always dreamed that maybe one day I would have. And my only daughter, was born with nonverbal, severe, profound autism. And it was very, very, very hard. And it still is very, very hard, even though we have overcome so much. And I'm so grateful. And to be able to watch people that understood, and to see that, okay, we can cry this out. This may be hard, but it's going to be better. Hang on 1 minute. Let me see what's going on. What's the matter? We're in the terrible threes lately. Like, they say terrible twos. We've been in the terrible threes. Let me see. But yeah, so like, that's why I feel like I'm so convicted to still doing stuff with you guys, because I know how much certain videos truly helped me when I was all alone. And if I could be that person for other people, then that's all that matters, But I think it's a shame that I have to put out there constantly that you're going to hear about God, because so many people don't want to hear about God, and I don't get that, because I have never misled people as to who I am. It's just, if we're talking about different cases and stuff, I'm not playing Bible teacher or anything. So of course you're not going to hear all kinds of things every time I'm on a live, But yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just showing up differently with stronger boundaries, deeper peace, and my children protected the way they deserve. So I thank all of you for understanding, because so many of you've been around the whole time. You do understand. And I thank you for the ones who have been here through every chapter of things over the years, and you followed me around. And if this is the end of the road for some of you, I truly wish you nothing but love and light. I really do. And I'm not saying that I don't don't like some of the very people that I used to talk to, or I used to, you know, associate with or do shows with here and there when it came to certain things on here. It's just that I need to know like what they believe, I guess, like what their goal is. Because I don't feel like people have been kind of honest with me about anything. And I need to kind of understand, moving forward, like what is the purpose, you know? Because I can do content, and I can see things very differently, but I need a guarantee that there's no real life nonsense. Um, you know, what's on the internet has to be on the internet, and I'm just not willing to um, subject my children to things, and that's the way it is. So as long as I know that I am doing something that is just literally for entertainment and for content, that's one thing. But otherwise, like, I just can't participate in certain things. It's not because I'm better than anybody or anything. It's just that when you know that something isn't worth your time, when you know that people are not coming from a good place, when it's not to anyone's benefit, then no, I'm never going to address it. I just move on. It's not because I can't handle it, because I can. It's not because I can't debate or stand my ground or, be dramatic back and forth. We all can, but I have to put my kids first. I always have. It's just how I am. And I can't put money over children. And I know that the clicks and the views come from, a lot of the fighting with each other and things, but I I'm not going to take a chance on my children being dragged into things, and it's not something that I'm okay with. So I'm going to have to stand firm on just making it known that while I respect all of you all that have watched us over the years in different ways, I just won't be sharing them anymore. But they're doing wonderful. They're doing great. And I think that a lot of us have to put our children's privacy and safety in a different way now, because there's so many people online, and while something may not be real, it may be scripted, it may be production, it may be whatever, you don't know what somebody that's watching is thinking. And with AI, they type in something in AI, the next thing you know, it's giving you that person's whole life story, it's giving you their Facebook, it's giving you all their email addresses. I mean, we're in this weird place, we're in this very weird place, and I have to put my kids first. So um, anyway, I really do. I wish everybody nothing but love and light if this is the end of the road for some of you. And we get to change, we get to grow, and we get to do it without, sacrificing the people we love most. So I'll see you in the next one. And we're going to go over a couple things. I want to talk to you about the story I was reading where people dressed up as a bear for insurance claims and they got arrested. That's a doozy. And there's just so much going on in this world, I tell you. But anyway, this was long overdue because I have so many messages on so much. And it's about time that I just did another like concise, specific update and explanation. Because I go off like a squirrel all over the place. So that's me, I'm funny. Lately I've been funny looking, and that's just how I am. I'm just Mommin. I don't know. But Mommin is still who I am, but it's going to be without anybody seeing any updates on the kids or any of our little fun clips and videos, because um, their safety is the most important thing to me. And I didn't set boundaries when I should have, because I was worried about them and putting them first. And in the process of putting them first, I feel like, it was a horrible mistake, because I think that the internet changed a long time ago. It became pretty dark. And while I was in denial, thinking that there was just so many of us that all met during 2020 and we all had our conversations, and I just didn't expect so much darkness. So All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. If you want to support the channel, if you want to buy me a coffee, remember, if you send a gift, though, that it is a gift. I'm not a tax write-off. So, you would have to be sending it from the kindness of your heart. I do have a Cash App, which is Florist with Faith, and I have a Venmo, which is Florist with Faith, because, of course, I'm still doing all I can to one day have my floral company. Like, I really, really want a floral company. What is playing on my screen right now? What is this? So yeah, I mean, I appreciate all of you, and if you do want to send buy Mommin a coffee or send any kind of a gift, that's great. You can still email me. But I'll see you guys shortly. And let me know what you think of my hair. It probably won't impact that, I'll be going through the stages of getting it back, to the color that I want it to be. But in the process of this, because so much has happened, I have to, go through getting it back. And my hair is really dark. But with iron, like my hair became very thin. And so I have to get my tape and extensions put in. And I do this not to be vain, but because it makes me feel like myself. This is who I am. And I feel more comfortable with my hair being long. And I don't know. I just don't think I have to explain myself to anyone. You get what you get with me. And if you get upset, you get upset. But I do like hearing your comments. I do take things into consideration. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know what you think. Because one of my lovely friends that also is a believer in Jesus, told me I look like a witch. And I was like, oh, thanks. Judging a book by the cover again, are we? Anyway, I'll talk to y'all soon. Much love. God bless.